M. Solomon, big welcome to everybody today. I'm going to run through real quick. I'm going to run through a case which we continue to get a lot of questions on, field a lot of questions on. People are confused as to where we're going with our audit. This is a real audit. It's one you'll submit to court. We're available to do your auditing. The audit, we're going to approach it from an accounting standpoint. We're not into making mortgage arguments. We're into showing what the accounting and the cash, how the cash flows, where the cash went. We use everything that we can, and that usually the most substantive information we can get out of a file is usually from the most recent mortgage statement that you're receiving monthly, as well as a payoff demand. If you have the closing statement or the settlement statement, that'd be helpful too. But we look forward to working with you, and you know how to how to reach us, 202-270-2641. You can also reach me at secondarytradedesk@gmail.com. Reminder, we're not attorneys. We cannot represent your legal rights and property, but we can work with your attorneys or you and show you what is involved in the accounting and what may be taking place beneath the, under the, what they say, under the radar and behind the scenes. Let's get going. All right, let's take a look. This is an actual case analysis, and I'm doing it may be redundant, but I'm getting a lot of calls and a lot of confusion. I want to show you exactly what's going on here, and you be the judge. You decide how you want to approach this. If this were to exist in your case, that's what we do. We audit files. If you've got a case, if you have the information we're looking for, which is a loan servicing statement and a payoff statement, we can go to work. But this is what we're trying to find, and this is what we did find in certain cases. In this case, we have real property conversion into shares. We have the wire into escrow, which was 586.3. That would be your note, 586.3. This is down payment. That's incorrect, but that would be the purchase price of the home, 732,875. And when you subtract the two, the cash that was brought into escrow was 146,575. Look over here. 146.6 was the cash brought into escrow, and they reduced the amount of cash brought into the closing. They refunded the consumer $25, which I thought was strange, and that gave her a net down payment of 146,575. Look what happens when you divide the 146,575 by the principal reduction of 25, or the cash down reduction by 25. You get 5863, 5863. I believe those are shares. Why? Because shares issued at par for $100 would equal 586,300. That was our note amount. Wire into escrow, 586,300. Here's your note amount converted into shares. Share value, par would be 100. The amount of cash brought into escrow would be $25. Now let's go to the note. Make it real quick, right to the point. The accrued value we're using for the note would be the amount was set as a demand in the foreclosure sale, 881,650.53, 881,650.53. It went back to the lender. The loan sold. Well, that actually should be the outstanding principal balance. The outstanding principal balance in this case was 618,00581. We have that on SPS. That was a constant value that never changed from month to month from the moment it entered into the system, and all the statements received by the consumer. It never changed. Mortgages accrue in arrears. Commercial loans calculate interest in a separate account. So this appears to be a commercial line of credit. Interest being calculated in a separate account, which would be for the withholding tax. COD income. The difference between the accrued value and the principal amount that was shown is 263,644. That would be interest due on a commercial line of credit, or would be what the IRS is collecting as a federal withholding on COD income. Did the borrower get a 1099? Yes, they did get a 1099, so it's taxable. The amount that is calculated here was calculated from the date shown as the next payment due, all the way back in 2/1/10, and that would go all the way out through 1/31/2010 would be the date of the last payment made. 2/1 would be the next payment due. That jives with what we have here. 9/20/19. The sale date was supposed to be 9/19/2019. 9/20/19 would be the day after. Number of days, number of installments. 31,705.81 installment amount. Factor them together. These two numbers give you the outstanding principal balance, which is issued on a 1099, which we have in hand. I got 618,005 1099, 618005, loan sold by divestiture to a imaginary investor. That investor doesn't exist. Divestiture means it was basically the asset into the liability, which now equals zero. There you have it, folks. You have the conversion of the real property into shares. You have the conversion into shares by manipulation of the down payment. It tells us how many shares were issued based on the note amount. It gives us a loan sold value, which was a divested asset into liability, which is what they're treating as a final sale. Accrued value would be the foreclosure sale. These are dividends. The difference would be the interest due on the 618, or that would be the amount due the IRS. That calculates almost on the mark to 30%, which is the withholding rate on COD income. Our dates tie out from the date of the last payment to the date of the sale, and we know that they're calculating these the years based on semi-annual installments. That installment would be 31,705.81. That'd be the difference between the 618 and the note 586. All of this is linked to the 1099, and all of it is linked to the down payment. All of it is linked to the property. It's all linked together. This is manipulation of a mortgage by direct investment in the consumer and their home, treated as paid-in capital and treated as if the consumer or you are the secondary investor and that you are the issuer and you are the investor. And what that results in is a divestiture of the asset and the liability. They took the home. They're charging you the income, crediting you the income, charging it back as rent, and giving you a 1099. There's nothing more I can say. It's all documented. Let's take a look at your file. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Take a look. As an auditor, I always use this formula. I call it a tic-tac-toe board, if you can imagine. You got a tic-tac-toe board, right? Going down here, across here, Maybe you can't see it or visualize it. But we got 618-00581. That represents a 77% loan to value on the foreclosure balance of $881,650. That would leave 30% as your tax rate or the amount of interest that was due on a commercial line of credit. That's not the borrower's line of credit. That's not the mortgage. I got 31,705. That would be the amount of the installment deposited. That would capitalize at 5408, which gives me the note rate. Installment capitalized the note rate. Add those together and you get the outstanding principal balance. Subtract these two, a negative and a positive, you get $881,650. There's a foreclosure balance. Subtract these two, you get $295,350. Subtract those two, you get the note amount. That's how you reconstitute a note from scratch. That's how you reconstitute a note from zero. From nothing comes something, and that's why in a 751 constructor liquidation under 26 U.S. Code, all liquidations, all properties in a constructor liquidation are sold for zero. I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind whether you get a CPA, top 4 accounting firm, tax attorneys, IRS if you want. There's no doubt in my mind there's been a complete manipulation of this file. It has nothing to do with a mortgage. That's what the point of this is. The point of this is, and the purpose of this analysis. I thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact me. I'm M. Solomon. I'm an accountant, auditor. I spent 30 years in the secondary market. There's not much you can get past me. I hate to admit it, but I'm older than these guys now. Okay, I'm not. Don't look to them as mentors anymore. They can look at me, and I've been the old guy that's been around from the beginning, long time. You're not going to get something past me. And what I see here is a complete manipulation of the mortgage secondary. The secondary is being brought to the consumer. The consumer is acting as a secondary conduit for the lender and the lender successor through a nominee, MERS, which we'll save for another conversation. Again, you can reach me at 202-270-2641. That's 202-270-2641. You can also reach me at Secondarytradedesk at gmail.com, Secondarytradedesk@gmail.com. Even if you have any questions or you have any information you want to share, if you'd like us to open up a file for you, I need this most recent loan servicing statement and a payoff demand. Get me a payoff demand as well as a HUD one if you have it. HUD one would be your closing statement. Look forward to hearing from you, and you take care.